Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. Got an exciting blend for you guys tonight, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Hey Tagero, welcome! Haven't seen you in a while. What was this? Why do I have slow mode on Twitch? I don't know what slow mode is. I am an old man, and so there are certain settings that I don't know. That's my honest answer. So today, going on with the hey, hey, Dark Phoenix, thanks for removing it for me because I don't know what that is. But anyway, so today, continuing on with the herbal month, I'm doing something that I'm really surprised I didn't do before, but it fits. It's about time I do this. I'm just doing plain old red rooibos. Now, red rooibos is a short leaf herb that's grown in South Africa, and the what was this? It's fine. It's only for 5 seconds. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up later and figure it out. Hey Ma, welcome. So it is a short leaf that is grown in South Africa, and the funny thing is, it's very indicative of. I've said it before years ago, but it's been a while, so I'll say it again. It's very indicative of the way that European influence has taken over in South Africa. It's a South African bush that is named with a German name. Rooibos means red bush in German. So I've always found that really interesting. And it's something that's so cultural and not too many people really think about it. But it's named after a non-native tongue. So that being said, this is one of my favorite kinds of teas because it's very naturally sweet and it doesn't taste like anything that you'd imagine. What was this? I haven't been here in a while. You're usually not awake at this time. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us today, because it's always good to see a friend. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how it's. Hey Teresa, welcome. I'm going to talk a little bit about how it's processed. Now, if you take a look at this, it's very, very small, very dusty, almost like sawdust. I don't even know if you can see it. I'm pulling it out. You can probably see it better, kind of this way. It's really, really difficult to see. I promise you, I'm pulling this out. And I really, you have to really squint your eyes a little bit to see it. Now, it's like an actual, I mean, you can see it drop, barely. But yeah, that's the actual size. It's so small. And this isn't even cut. The way that it works is all they do is they pluck it from the leaf, and they sprinkle it with a little bit of water to help it dry faster. They lay it out in the. Oh, you got a really nice view from the apartment. Thanks. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's the reason why we actually picked up the place. But yeah, this. All they do is they sprinkle a little bit of water on it, lay it out in a thin layer, and then let it just dry out in the sun. And that's all there is to it. It's only withering. There's no further processing. There's no oxidation. There's no heating. There's no firing. There's no processing of the leaf. It's literally just pluck, sprinkle with water, and let it dry until it gets that brownish reddish color. But what's unique is the scent and the texture. There's no other tea out there that really has that kind of. It's a sweet, earthy, kind of sort of caramelly. I mean, it's really hard for me to describe it. It's got a very distinct flavor once you drink it, but it's more on the sweeter side naturally. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Check out that gorgeous color. It's like nice bronze, red-orange kind of tea. And it looks like it would make an amazing iced tea, which it does. But look at how clear it is. You can almost see right through it. It's, yeah, you'd probably be able to see it if I put it towards the light a little bit. It's just reflective. But yeah, I can see right through it. It's just a little bit hard because the lighting is not that great at the moment. But yeah, it's really, really nice. I love this color. It's really appetizing. And so, like, I'm trying to place it. It's got like an earthy kind of sweet clay. Like, think red mud. That kind of a scent to it. Maybe like an adobe kind of material. It's really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and take my first sip. Oh wow, it's been quite a while since I've had just plain Rooibos, and this is one of the teas that first got me into herbal blends. One of the first teas I actually bought was a vanilla Rooibos, and it really, really brought out the flavor of the vanilla, because naturally it being sweet, it's going to support other sweet things. But another interesting factor is the texture. Now, Rooibos, because it's so small to begin with, it tends to drop off dust as it steeps, and it gives the liqueur a bit of a texture. So if it's too heavy, it does tend to be a little heavy for some people. If you have any texture issues, I wouldn't recommend it. I know Shanna, who hasn't popped in a while, but she is infamous for not liking Rooibos, only because the texture is like thick and grainy, and it's lack of a better term, no pun intended. It's a little hard to swallow, but it's, I mean, it's not for everybody. It's definitely for me. I do enjoy it very, very much. Yeah, it's really sweet and earthy, and you can sweeten this up even further, and it goes very, very well with any sugars or honeys or anything. Ooh, it's so hot! I already burned my tongue. Ooh, that's really nice. And I feel it going down my throat. There's a certain texture to it as I speak. But it is not a tea? Yeah, that's right. I did not... It is not a tea. Not officially a tea. It is an herbal blend, and that's why it's part of this month being Herbal Month. And, oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. I think it's a spare Rooibos leaf that just got away from me. But yeah, it's not a tea, so it's not caffeinated, which is great. You can drink any time of the day and not have to worry about being up all night. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like after it's steeped. Now you'll notice there's very little difference between this and this. And that's because the leaf is naturally small, and so it's not going to get any bigger than what it already is. Let me pull some out. You'll notice this one is easier to see because it clumps a whole lot more than the other one. The dry leaf just tends to fall and blow away with the wind, but after it's steeped, it gets a little clumpy and it gets a little more solid kind of a thing. Like it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it has more matter to it. So it's a lot easier to see that way than it is when it's dry. And I'm certainly grateful for that, because the problem with showing you guys before when it was dry was it was barely dust. And yeah, Tagero, that is Gamer Girl. She changed her tag. It has been a long time. Now I love that it's got a very layered kind of taste to it. It starts off kind of heavy on the earth, but as it dissolves, you get like 2 or 3 more layers. You get like a layer of the earth, then you get a layer of like a semi-citrusy, non-acidic version, kind of like orangey. Then you get like a caramel kind of sweetness behind that. And it can be a little bit complex, which is great because nobody wants to drink a boring tea. It's something that is you have to look a little bit for the flavor, and once this cools down a bit, I'll do the Thomas taste to see if I can find anything else. But overall, it's earthy and sweet. It's very light in its flavor, kind of like a syrup. It's got that texture that's really nice. And it also has some pretty interesting health benefits. So it's been said, I think I mentioned it last week. Yeah, I believe I did, because it was with the hibiscus. It kind of shares some of the properties. So this one is known for its anti-inflammatory properties. So if you have any aches or pains, it'll help shrink the muscles or the strain that has it. It's also said to be good for allergies, which also, like during the fall during the spring when all the pollen is in the air. I have tried it. I don't suffer from allergies all that bad. I do a little bit, and that I tend to drink some Rooibos, and it does help quite a bit. Again, I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical advice. But I honestly treat I don't want to say if it's a hay fever. I don't know if that's associated with allergies or not. I know it's just the term. But I do take it for my allergies sometimes, and it does tend to help. It's also said to be good for digestion, for gas, and for what was the last one? It was digestion, gas. Not like any. It's not like a laxative or anything. You're sorry it's 3 a.m. and you're really tired. It's time for bed. No worries. I'm glad you stopped by, even if it was for a couple minutes. I appreciate it thoroughly. And if you like it, just go ahead and give me a follow, and yeah, you'll be able to catch me from here on out. Anyway, I need another sip. Now, this actually does make a really great iced tea as well. It blends well with other ingredients. Like I mentioned, it had the vanilla Rooibos, but also I've had it with caramel, I've had it with orange, I've had it with apple, and it really, really blends well because it's not an overpowering flavor. It's the kind of flavor that lays a nice bed, and you'll know that it's there. But it will always take a back seat to the more predominant flavor. And that's something that I really appreciate, because it adds texture as well to a flavor. Again, if you don't like texture, then it's not going to help. But I tend to like my drinks a little bit thick, to have a little bit of something to taste while you taste. Now the problem is, it can be comparable to a light grain sandpaper. Not to the point where it's scratchy, but you can tell that it's there, and it sits on your tongue. And if you have texture issues with food, then that's not a really good selling point at all. So, in which case, to each their own. But I always recommend, if you're looking for something sweet, do a Rooibos, and you can't go wrong. Also, it's almost impossible to oversteep. I used to make iced tea with this and have it steeping for about an hour. Sometimes I used to steep it and go to work, come back, take it out, put it in the fridge, and be done with. Um, and like it's able to stand those high heats. It's since it's not a Camellia sinensis plant, it's really hard to oversteep. Um, so if you don't, if you're not mindful of the time, then this is going to be a really good tea that's hard to mess up. And also, what I love about this blend is that it tends to hold on to the flavor from beginning to end. It's because that flavor is ingrained in it so deeply. You're going to see very little change as it cools. Even when it's iced and completely cold, you'll have that same strong, robust flavor that it usually has, and not lose any of the quality of the flavor itself. And I think I also picked this tea at a really good time because I had pizza for dinner tonight, and it was sitting kind of heavy in there. But now that I'm drinking the tea and it's helping settle my stomach a little bit, it's less acidic, which is good, and it's calming down my stomach. So yeah, even as I speak, it's portraying those health benefits that is really giving it is really giving it to that quality that I look for whenever I drink a tea. Mm. And another thing about this blend is that it's so robust. It's almost juicy. I mean, there is no juice, of course, coming out of the leaf, but it's got that kind of flavor and texture to it that it could pass for a juice if you need to, like something that's comparable to, like, I can't really think of any. The closest. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but the closest thing that I can think about is like, what is the name of that fruit? Like kind of like a breadfruit, I want to say. It's not overly sweet. It's not citrus, but it's got like a kind of rock fruit quality to it, and it's really mellow, which I thoroughly enjoy. Mm. Oh, wow, it's so good. Woo. And it's like it's sitting in my stomach right now. Ooh, and I'm just feeling it. It's like it's making me calm, but it's also making me kind of like satisfied. It's satiating. It's really good. Okay, so questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. I'm going to answer Teresa's question before I do the Thomas taste because I don't want to forget to do the Thomas taste. What would I pair this with? Given the fact that it's slightly sweet but not overly so, I would want to give it. Oh, excuse me. I would want to pair this. Of course. I would want to pair this with something more profound. Something that has a stronger taste so that this can kind of mellow it. So if I were to pair it with something, I would say probably nothing too strong. Nothing like a steak. Maybe chicken or pork chops, something like that. Something that's nice and light, but also could stand a little sweetness behind it. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty good place to start. What else? Maybe, I don't know, maybe a pasta dish. Yeah, like a linguine alfredo or something like that. Maybe seafood. Seafood would be great because it's not too strong. It's not too. Uh, it's not going to overpower the taste. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do the Thomas taste, and we'll see if I can find anything in here. Yeah, it tastes like a. It's overall sweet and earthy. Uh, does it go with red velvet cake? It could. I mean, I have had chocolate Rooibos before, and it held up pretty well. You can even add cream and sugar to this, and that would not mess it up. I would I would stand behind that. Um, what else? Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that it would go with. Pretty good. Okay, so questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now is the time. I'm going to open up the floor. I don't know. I don't have any announcements going on right now with the community. I keep on promising, I know. It's just a very difficult time right now to plan out anything because with the pandemic going on, everything is really up in the air right now. So I don't have any events happening at the moment. I would love to schedule like something. Hey Joe, welcome. Was this? Oh, and I appreciate the bits. Thanks so much. Didn't say how I couldn't see because my eyes are. But I'm glad that you dropped in. I'm always happy to host you. It's a little bit of hospitality. That was terrible. Ooh, kind of went down the wrong pipe a little bit. I probably deserved it for that terrible joke. but, but something funny happened when I swallowed it that way. I got a slight tinge of bitterness. That's really really rare for a tea. You want a dad joke? Oh man, I should have kept that hospitality joke. Okay. Dad joke. Uh Dang it, I can't think of one. Um, oh, here, ultimate one. This is what I haven't told in ages. Where does the Long Ranger take his trash? To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump. That was awful. Terrible. God, I haven't told that one in years. Oh man. Anyway, and it's probably like half the people have no idea what I'm talking about because the Lone Ranger is super old, just like me. But that was bad. Mm. And it's been a while. What was this? Oh, you understood that reference? Oh man. I mean, you're old like me, so it works. You see, and like I'm so glad that everybody right now is of a certain age that that they know what I'm talking about. So my joke has not gone unappreciated. Anyway, that was bad. Oh, you didn't. Oh, of course you didn't get it because you're the baby of the group. I'll send you a link on YouTube, then then you'll get it. It's yeah. Anyway, so anyway, as I was saying, yeah, it's just a very difficult time to. It's a very difficult time to like plan any events. I could probably do some local stuff, but it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle. I'll figure something out. I really really want to make a go of doing another fundraiser for Gilda's Club this time. Um, because like it's like the duck one was pretty good, but it came too late. I only had a week to raise that money, and it feels like there wasn't a it feels like there wasn't really a enough time to really get into it, so I want to have another fundraiser. Maybe I'll set something up for September, for the entire month, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know. It's I would really love to set up some community service. There goes your another dad joke. This one was free. But yeah, like I really feel that that's where my head and my heart is at right now. It's community centered, and I really want to get some good vibes put out there. So stay tuned. I will keep you guys posted in the group, and we'll see. So, in the meantime, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. Especially since I'm going to take another sip, because this stuff is really good. Community service sounds like a great nonprofit name. Good luck with whatever you're going to do with. Well, I mean, yeah, I appreciate that. It's not the name I'm going for. I do have plans for it, though. I do have plans for it. And we'll see where it goes, because right about now I need to find something to do. So hopefully we'll be able to make a really good go at it. And if it was up to me, I'd be able to put on some elaborate, maybe one day I'll put on some elaborate an elaborate event or something, or a fundraiser. I'm starting off small. We'll see. Oh, that is so good. And it's like sitting on my tongue right now. And it has like an apple juice kind of quality to it too. I hadn't mentioned that, but it's sweet like an apple, and it's really settling everything. I'm feeling really mellow right now. Choking on tea, adjust tea notes confirmed. Pretty much, yeah. And that reminds me of you remember that speech that I did in college with the I mean, like, it's the only speech that that you'd remember watching. Oh man, the choking on stage. Oh man, those were some good days. I still can't believe I got a 90 for that. I should have gotten 100. Everybody booed. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Oh, I am stuffed. This stuff is like really settling in my stomach. So, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you, Joe, for keeping it entertaining, of course. This has been a Red Rooibos. I will post the link, as I usually do, in the in the comments. I will post it in the description. So if you want to give it a shot, it's really easy to find anywhere. I'm going to see if they have it in Elmwood Inn. If not, I'll post one of a million other places, because I mean, there's very little. Have a great weekend, Ma. There's very little difference from brand to brand. So I will put the description. I will put the link in the description. And until next time, have a great week, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next time. Bye.